Hey, it's Tara, your yoga bestie, and I've got a great class for you today. We are not using any props in particular, but if you want to have blocks, I'm a big fan of blocks, or any other props that make you feel like you could have your best practice with. We're going to start out however you like. I prefer usually starting out in a reclined position, but if you'd like seated or child's pose, there's really not a bad option. Just determine where you want your arms and legs to be and settle in by wiggling into that space. And we'll close our eyes as we start to tap into our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Taking this time to let go of any thoughts or worries so that we can just prepare our mind for our practice. So as we inhale, we'll feel the space right below the navel start to lift. As it draws upward, feeling an expansion through the belly, the side bodies, the rib cage, and our breath draws all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then on our exhalation, we're going to feel our belly button draw in towards the spine, which will allow us to use all three parts of the lungs. Our Ujjayi breath is an audible breath. So you're going to hear a snoring-like sound in the back of the throat, kind of like you're fogging up a mirror with your nose. And let's see if we can create a rhythm where we inhale to the count of 3 or 4 or 5 or even 6. Exhaling the same, or just figuring out which rhythm works for you, because our breath is going to fluctuate throughout the practice. We just want to be mindful of anytime we're holding our breath or it's become really shallow. And usually we're reminded of that because our mind starts to wander and we start to get away from that present moment. But while you're tuning into your breath, we've been talking about the chakras in my class. We're currently in the 7th chakra, also known as the crown chakra. The crown chakra is known for being part of like your spirituality and meditation. I like to think of it as our moving meditation in this type of practice where we have the asana practice. The crown chakra also reminds us to rise above judgment and into observation. It invites us to be curious. When we try to control a situation, we actually block the flow. And when we get curious, we open the crown, allowing for insight and grace and light to pour in, just in general. Instead of reacting, we should pause and say, what is this here to teach me? So what am I trying to understand when you think of something a certain way and you're not really sure why? Like, where is this coming from in the first place? So it allows you to really go inward. It's also associated with the color violet or the color white. And the affirmation that I have for you that goes along with our 7th chakra, our crown chakra, is I observe my challenges with curiosity about what they can teach me. Again, that's I observe my challenges with curiosity about what they can teach me. Because no matter what the challenge is, how we respond to it teaches us so many things. Because we can be curious, we can observe, we can understand, or we can become really judgmental about it and really upset about it because it's hard. And the thing is, everything that's worth having is hard. Anything that happens in our life that's good comes from a place of it at some point not being the easiest, right? But the beauty of that is that we learn so much in the journey of getting to that next stage that that's where the real growth happens. So without the difficulty, without the hard, doesn't come the bliss, doesn't come the reward, doesn't come the satisfaction. And not only does that take place on our mats and our practice, it takes place everywhere in our lives. So on our next inhale, let's find a nice full body stretch if we're in a reclined position or any other movement that feels good, just to kind of say hello to your body at this time. And then either from that reclined space or from an upright seated position, we'll all bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice today. And maybe that is using our affirmation of I observe my challenges with curiosity about what they can teach me. Or whatever else comes to mind, whatever speaks to you, whatever you need. Please honor that. And we'll take another big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Yeah, and then when you're ready, start to open up the eyes. We'll make our way into a tabletop position. So we'll come onto our hands and knees, spreading through the fingers nice and wide, just kind of finding some movement here, maybe some lateral movement from side to side. Maybe it's some cat-cow movement or whatever else your body's asking for. I like to bring my hips back and extend one knee out to the side, breathing into those side bodies. Maybe it's a wrist stretch you need. Just seeing if you can start to bring in your breath with that movement. That's really the important part. And we're going to get after it right away. So from here, let's go ahead and tuck our toes under as we make our way into our first down dog of the practice. So taking some time to warm up, you might bicycle the legs. You might have a bend in the knees as you move your hips from side to side. Also a great time to check in with your breath because we have a tendency to hold our breath when we're upside down. So just notice what's going on there. Full inhale. Exhale. And then go ahead and lift up your right leg. We're going to open up that hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling as we work the left heel down. You can stay right here. Maybe we start to make some circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. Nice. And as we inhale, we'll straighten that leg. Exhale, bring that knee to your nose so you can round the upper back. And then immediately bring that foot towards the ceiling or towards the sky as we move into our wild thing. So coming onto the ball of that foot as we reach the arm up overhead, lifting up those hips. And we can hold this in a static position, or we can make it more dynamic by making some circles with the arm, bending and straightening the legs, whatever feels good to you right now. And then inhale, reach it up. Exhale, and bring your right hand down. Your gaze comes forward as we move into our active pigeon. So right ankle comes over towards the left wrist, back toes are tucked under. And this first time here, maybe you just leave your fingertips down, or you could start to open up through the chest, coming into goalpost-like arms as you lean it back, bringing that gaze upward. Inhale. And then as we exhale, bring those hands down, slide your back leg under so that we move into our cow face legs. So here's the thing, if this is not accessible to you, you can make it more of like a seated twist type of legs, or if you do have a block, you could sit on it right here and allow yourself to lift up a little bit higher. So just listen to your body because we'll be moving through this quite a bit. So you want to find your version, and it can change throughout the practice too. So it doesn't have to be just one version. Let's go ahead and reach that right arm out to the side as we bring that left arm overhead, maybe placing it behind the head as a reminder to kind of lean back as we come into that side body stretch. Big breath in here. Exhale. And then switch it out. Left arm comes down to the side, right arm comes up overhead, or we can place it behind the head as a reminder to lean back. Big inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and bring your right hand down to meet with the left hand. And we're going to shift it forward so that we can step our left foot out to the side. So we're coming into a wide stance here. And you might walk your hands forward. You could bring your arms underneath you. You could reach for the ankles or the sides of the feet. Or you might bring your fingertips to where they're in line with the toes, kind of working towards 90-degree angles with the arms. Maybe you shift your weight forward, and if that head comes down, it might be an opportunity to play, to go upside down. So you might find an inversion like your tripod headstand if that's accessible, or just play with bringing that weight forward. Sometimes just knowing how close the floor is to you is super helpful. One more breath in here. And then as we exhale, we're going to soften that left knee. I'm going to grab my blocks because we're going to be facing the back. So if you want any props like that as well, you can go ahead and do that. Bringing the props near you. We'll take a full breath in here. As we exhale, face the back, coming into our runner's lunge. So we're going to start to shift forward and back in this space, moving from runners to a pyramid-like pose. So feel free to lower that back knee. Feel free to linger anywhere. And the next time that we come forward, go ahead and plant the palms and reach that left leg back, coming into your one-legged down dog. As we exhale, bring that knee towards your left tricep as you shift it forward. And then we inhale, reach it back. Exhale, bring that knee across. So we're twisting in the torso as we bring it towards that right tricep. And then we extend it back. We're going to lower those toes down as we extend that left leg back and bring the right knee down. So we're going to face the other side of the mat as we move into our gate pose, reaching that right arm overhead, breathing into that side body. So we're leaning in towards the front of the mat. Big breath in here. And then on our exhale, bring your right hand down, reach your left arm up, your left leg is up. Maybe you reach that arm overhead. Maybe you find your elbow and knee connect with one another, or they go in that direction. And then we're gonna kind of tick-tock through this. So we're gonna bring that foot down. Inhale, reach the right arm overhead as we come into that gate pose. Exhale, bring that right hand down. Elbow and knee can connect. Inhale, gate. Exhale, elbow and knee connect. And then we'll lift up and we're gonna come into our supported version of Warrior Two. Just means that right knee is down. Can extend the arms, maybe palms face up. And we can kind of lean in here, giving ourselves some space to open up in this hip. Nice, and we'll take a full breath in. On our exhale, fingertips come in front of left toes. So again, if you want to use a block, you can. We're moving into our half moon, so we'll lift up that right arm and leg as we open it up towards the right side of the mat. Really flexing through that foot. Inhale. On our exhale, bring your right hand down. Bring your your right foot down to meet your left. And we'll find our forward fold. And we can separate our feet at least hip distance apart or even wider to hang out in this forward fold for a moment, maybe reaching for opposite elbows, maybe bringing the arms behind the back. You can walk your hands from side to side. Maybe shake out the head or sway. Noticing what your breath is doing. Big breath in. Exhale, release those arms. Bring your feet in towards one another. We'll soften our knees as we roll all the way up to standing, coming into our mountain pose, working those shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. And then we plant the palms as we step it back into our plank or our push-up position. Super strong, working that weight forward. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower onto your belly for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, we'll come all the way down. Tops of the feet come into the mat, hands are underneath the shoulders as we inhale, lifting up cobra pose, and we'll exhale, lowering. We'll start to move through this at the pace of our breath, so also feel free to change up anything. Like I love to come onto my fingertips in this wide stance and then move into some shoulder dips. So if that feels good to you, feel free to incorporate that. Next time you lower it down, make your way back into your down dog. And we'll go right into our other side. So we're gonna bring that left leg up, open up the hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling. We stay, or we can make those circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. And as we inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, knee draws to nose, rounding the upper back. And then we'll bring that foot up as we move right into our wild thing. So coming into that back bend on the ball of the foot. Option to find that movement if you like that. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, bring that left hand down, big step forward into that active pigeon. So we'll bring our ankle over towards the right wrist. Back toes are tucked under, and just like before, if you prefer to come onto your fingertips this first time, since we're not quite warm enough yet, or maybe you're not warm enough, or we can come right into those goalpost arms. Big breath in. Exhale, bring those hands down. Slide your back leg underneath. Make any adjustments for your cow face legs after going through it on the first side. So block, more of a seated like twist setup. And once you feel ready, bring that left arm out to the side, right arm will reach over, maybe placing that hand behind the head. Inhale. As we exhale, we'll switch outside. So right arm comes down, left arm comes over. Big breath in. Exhale, lower that left hand to meet with the right hand. And then we'll shift it forward so that we can step the right foot to the back, coming into that wide forward fold. And any options you like, maybe it's the same, maybe you change it up. You don't have to have it be still either. You can go from side to side if that feels nice. Maybe find a different arm variation than you did the first time. One more big breath in. And then on our exhale, soften the right knee. We're gonna face the back. So if you have those props, awesome. And we'll start to see what's going on this side as we shift forward and back from our runners to a pyramid-like pose. Just listening to what this side needs. It's okay if it's not the exact same, it's often not the exact same. Next time we shift it forward, plant the hands, coming into your one-legged down dog. And then as we exhale, we'll bring that knee to our right tricep. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, we'll bring it across, twisting in that torso. Inhale, we reach it back, and then lower those toes down so you can bring the left knee down, coming into your gate pose, leaning in towards the front of the mat. Letting that right arm slide down as you reach the left arm overhead. Working those shoulder blades together. Inhale. As we exhale, bringing the left hand down, coming into that supported side plank. Maybe go right into reaching the arm up overhead and bringing that connection with the elbow and knee. And we're going to tick-tock back and forth. So we can inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then this time we'll come into our supported warrior two. Palms might face up. Maybe you find a little bit of shifting forward and back here. One more big breath in. Exhale, bring those fingertips in front of those toes. Half moon, open it up. Really flexing through that left foot. Big breath in. Exhale, lower the left hand. Feet come together in our forward fold. Nice. Let's roll it up. Arms reach up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant, and we'll step or float it back here. This time as we lower, we might hover in our chaturanga. Inhaling into your cobra or up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Full breath in. Exhale, softening the knees. We gaze forward as we step or float. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse. Exhale, bring it right back forward. Inhale, halfway. Hands plant as we make our way to our down dog. So you can always skip this vinyasa or bring it in if you like. Big breath here. Exhale, softening the knees. We gaze forward as we step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse, reaching it up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening. Hands plant as we make our way to our down dog or any resting position of choice. So maybe finding a seated position or a child's pose. That concludes our warm-up. So great time to get a drink of water or towel off if necessary, or even just close the eyes, find a little bit of stillness, allowing that practice to sink in as I talk to you about what we're going to be doing. Yeah, so if you're new to my practice, I do two main sequences. Those sequences pull from the warm-up, so it's not like we're starting over again. And I call it I call them PB&J. So it's a PB&J method. So our peanut butter is, we go through a little bit slower the first time, depends on how much we did in the warm up. And then we repeat it 2 more times for a breath pace. We do the same thing for jelly. And then at the end, it's my very favorite part. We bring these 2 sequences together for one long, delicious peanut butter and jelly sequence sandwich. I loves it. All right. So we will be starting out in down dog for both today. So no surprises. Both will start in a prone position. So make your way there. And as you do, we'll inhale, I observe my challenges with curiosity. Exhale about what they can teach me. I observe my challenges with curiosity about what they can teach me. All right. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we'll bring that knee to our right tricep. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, we bring it across. Inhale, we reach it back and lower those toes down. As we lower that left knee down, we come into our gate pose. And then we'll bring that left hand down. Supported side plank, option to connect that elbow and knee. We're doing this 3 times, just like the warm-up. So we inhale here, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then we lift up, coming into our warrior 2, our supported one. Maybe finding a little bit of movement here. Yeah, and then next time we shift forward, move right into your half moon. Open it up. Big breath in here. Exhale, softening that knee. We land that back foot and we face the front of our mat for full warrior 2. So maybe the palms face up here. That helps relax your shoulders. You want to make sure your knee's going outward like it's over the small toe with a super strong and straight back leg. And just kind of connect with the breath. You might even close your eyes here. One more breath in. Exhale. So pick up your back heel. We're going to spin towards the other side as we come into our exalted warrior. So right arm will come up, left arm comes down. We keep bending that forward knee so we can feel that space along the side body. Big breath here. Exhale, we cartwheel it down and we go right into our other side by bringing that left leg up. Exhale, knee comes to the left tricep. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, we bring it across. Inhale, we reach it back and then lower those toes. And then right knee comes down, so we go right into our gate pose, reaching towards the back of the mat. Or the back of the room, however you want to think about it. Exhale, bring that hand down. Find that elbow and knee connection. Inhale, gate. Exhale, elbow and knee. Inhale, gate. Exhale, elbow and knee. And then we lift it up, supported warrior 2, gazing towards the back, maybe finding a little bit of a bend and straighten here. Or I guess bend and bend. One more breath in. Exhale, moving into our half moon. So we'll lift up that right arm and leg, opening up to the side. Inhale. On our exhale, big bend in that knee, soft landing, and then we face the front for warrior 2. Again, maybe palms face up. Finding that pose, we're stacking our shoulders on top of our hips. We're breathing into this space. One more big inhale. Exhale, and then pick up that back heel. We spin towards the other side as we move into our exalted. So left arm is down, our left arm is up, right arm is down. Maybe bring it back behind you so that it comes to the outer thigh of that left leg as we continue to soften that right knee. Full breath in. Exhale, cartwheel it down. And we'll start to just move right through this. So right leg lifts as we inhale. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, we bring it across. Inhale, we reach it back, lowering those toes. And the left knee lowers down as we inhale, gate pose. Exhale, elbow and knee. Inhale, gate. Exhale, elbow and knee. Inhale, gate. Exhale, elbow and knee. And then we find that supported warrior two, shifting forward right into our half moon. Exhale, big bend in that knee so that we come right into our warrior two, facing the front. And then lifting up that back heel, we'll spin it all the way to the other side so that we inhale into our exalted. Exhale, we cartwheel it down. Left leg lifts as we inhale. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale. Exhale across. Inhale, lower those toes, right knee comes down. Gate pose as we inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, gate. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, gate. Exhale, elbow to knee. And then we come into our supported warrior two, shifting it right into our half moon. Open it up. Exhale, big bend. Warrior two facing the front of the mat. And then on our inhale, we'll spin all the way into that exalted. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Right leg lifts. Exhale. We reach. Exhale across. We reach, bringing those toes down. Gate. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Supported warrior two to our half moon. Soften that knee, warrior two facing the front. Spinning onto that ball of the back foot, all the way into exalted. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Left leg lifts. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale across. Inhale, lower those toes, right knee comes down, gate pose. Inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, gate. Exhale, elbow to knee. Gate. Elbow to knee. Supported warrior two to our half moon. Soften that knee, warrior two facing the front. And then we'll spin all the way into our inhale to that exalted. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Maybe take a vinyasa here. Maybe don't. But that is our peanut butter today. Woohoo! All right. Jelly is next, so take a moment to check in with yourself. Get a drink of water. Towel off. Tell yourself you're amazing. Because you are. I mean, I laugh, but the more we tell ourselves these things, the more we believe them, and we should, because they're true. You're amazing. I'm amazing. We're all amazing. Okay. For jelly, you already know we're starting in down dog because I said that earlier. But take a moment. Let your breath slow down if it started to speed up. Inhale, I observe my challenges with curiosity. Exhale about what they can teach me. I observe my challenges with curiosity about what they can teach me. All right, it's jelly time. So let's make our way to our down dog. From our down dog, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring that foot up as we move into our wild thing. Exhale brings us into that active pigeon. Maybe coming into that heart opener. And then hands come down. Slide your back leg in as we come into those cow face legs. Your version, maybe it's a little bit more open now. And right arm will come out to the side as we reach that left arm over. Maybe have that hand behind the head. And then we switch. Big breath in. Exhale, gaze down, bring your right hand down, and step that left foot out for your wide forward fold. Maybe you add on here. Maybe you find some stillness here. If there's ever any cramping in the legs, you can always soften those knees. If You want to play with those inversions. Maybe you add on. Always make little circles. Big breath in here. As we exhale, bend that left knee all the way to your seat. And we're going to come into some hip mobility here. So see if you can bring your hands to your heart or onto your fingertips as we lower that knee down and then lift. Lowering and lifting. So trying to make this movement really targeted. So yes, we are twisting in the torso and we're lowering that knee down. We're really not moving anything else. Next time it's lifted, face the back. Runner's lunge to our one-legged down dog. We're already ready for the second side. So exhale, bring that knee to nose. And then we inhale into our wild thing, coming onto the ball of that foot. Exhale, gaze towards the back of your mat as we come into our active pigeon. Maybe opening up through the heart. Full inhale. Exhale, hands come down, slide your back leg underneath. And then we're going to lean in towards the left. Right arm comes up overhead or behind head. And then we'll lean into the right. Big breath here. Exhale, gaze down, bring your hands together, and then step your right foot to the front of your mat as you come into your wide forward fold. All the same options as before, but feel free to play. You might even just kind of shift forward, lifting up those heels, seeing how you can feel all that length of the backs of the legs and feel your core engaged. Take one more big breath in. As we exhale, bend that right knee all the way to our seat. And we're coming into that hip mobility. So lowering the knee down and then lift. Lower, lift. Nice. Next time we lift it up, put your hands at the front of the mat as you lift up your seat, runner's lunge, and we'll start to pick up the pace on this. So we inhale, reaching that right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, moves into that active pigeon. Inhale, open up through the chest. Exhale, slide that back leg under. We'll lean in towards the right. You lean in towards the left. And then bring those hands down as you step the left foot to the back. Big breath here. Exhale, soften that left knee all the way to your seat. We'll lower that knee down and lift. Down, lift, down, lift. Face the back. One-legged down dog. Knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, moving into our active pigeon. Inhale, open up through the chest. Exhale, slide that leg under. We'll lean in towards the left, right arm overhead. And then the right as left arm comes up overhead. Bringing those hands down, we step the right foot towards the front. Wide forward fold. Bending the right knee as we come onto our seat. We'll do that hip mobility for 3, 2, and 1. Face forward, runner's lunge. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, active pigeon. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, slide that leg under. Left arm overhead. Right arm overhead. Hands down as we step that left foot to the back. And then we bend it as we come onto our seat. We're just going to do this one time, so we'll lower and lift. And then we face the back. One-legged down dog. Knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, moving into our active pigeon. Inhale, opening up through the chest. Exhale, slide that back leg under. Right arm overhead. Left arm overhead. Bringing both hands together Stepping that right foot out for that wide stance, where we bend the right leg to our seat. One time we lower that leg, and then lift, and we face forward as we make our way to our down dog, which means the jelly is done. But I'm singing because it's my favorite part of the practice. It's peanut butter and jelly time. So we're gonna bring both of these sequences together one last time, which is my favorite part of the practice. So check in with where your headspace is, check in with your breath, whatever you need before we make our way to down dog, because we're doing it just one more time. You're almost there. You're doing amazing. So we'll inhale. I observe my challenges with curiosity about what they can teach me. I observe my challenges with curiosity about what they can teach me. All right, let's go. Down dog. Right leg lifts. Exhale. We'll bring that knee to our tricep. Inhale, we reach it back. Exhale, we bring it across. Inhale, we reach it back, lowering those toes. Gate pose, so left knee comes down, and we inhale. Exhale, maybe they connect. Inhale, gate. Exhale. Inhale, gate. Exhale. And then supported warrior 2, shift it into your half moon. Exhale, softening that knee. Warrior 2 to the front. And we inhale all the way into that exalted. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Left leg lifts. And then knee comes to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, active pigeon. Inhale, open up through the chest. Exhale, slide that back leg under. Right arm overhead. Left arm overhead. We'll gaze to the right as we take that big step into our wide stance. And then we soften that right knee all the way to our seat. We'll lower that knee down just one time. And then we lift, facing the back. We'll come into our down dog. So if you want to take a vinyasa, feel free to do so. But that means the first side is done. Let's do this. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale. Exhale across. Inhale, lowering those toes, right knee comes down so that we inhale into our gate. Exhale. Inhale, gate. Exhale. Inhale, gate. Last one. Exhale. Supported warrior 2. We shift it forward to come into our half moon. And then big bend in that knee. Warrior 2 facing the back. Inhale, spinning all the way into that exalted. And then as we exhale, hands come down. Right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, wild thing. Exhale, active pigeon. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, slide that back leg. Left arm overhead. Right arm overhead. Hands come down. Wide forward fold. Bending that left leg. That hip mobility, we just lower it down once. And then we lift. And then we face forward. Making our way to our down dog. 'Cause you did it. Yay. All right. Find a seat when you're ready. Check in with your breath. Slow it down. Allow yourself to just inhale and exhale through the nose for a moment. Letting all of this practice sink in for a moment. And just know if there's anything else that you want to do that's upright, this is a great time to do it. It's also a great time to come into a reclined space, doing any final poses that make your practice feel complete. Otherwise, just find a little bit of stillness here. Allow yourself to observe how you feel in this moment. Maybe notice how this feels as opposed to how it felt at the beginning when we were first checking in with our breath. And take a moment to just have so much gratitude for showing up to your mat today. Gratitude for the hard work you just put in, and gratitude for this feeling that you made happen because you showed up. Know that I'm proud of you, and so proud of you for making this commitment to yourself. So allowing your breath to be soft and your body to be still as we make our way into Shavasana. And as always, stay here as long as you need. It's available for you. If you're ready, we'll make our way into a seated position where hands will come to heart center in our Anjali Mudra as we tuck our chin under. I observe my challenges with curiosity about what they can teach me. Take this feeling with you as you leave the mat, because that is when our true yoga begins. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Until next time, namaste. Bye.